That's the requirement tonight. It's, post Pride, you have to make sure that you're serving it up, right?
Yes. I got the luckiest treat at Pride. Mac was throwing lipsticks off a float, and I got a color. I did like Adidas Smoky Eye yesterday because, I gold tooth, I got it all down. And this lip is like literally, it's like, so the Smoky Eye and the Mac Primo Nude or something.
Well, Michael, thank you for stepping up the visual game today. The rest of us are makeup free, but thank you for bringing the high glam.
Oh, my job.
Madonna, forever. Madonna, forever. Madonna, forever. Madonna, forever.
Ben, we're live, so if you'd like to kick
Yes, I'm
off,
aware.
If you'd like to kick off, I'll let you.
Oh God, do I have to sing like Liberty?
No, no.
Thank God, nobody wants to hear that dead goat noise.
Just do the intro.
No, I don't even remember it. Oh my God.
All right, I can
Welcome
do it.
Everybody. It's MLVC. This is Ben.
No, stop. Hold on. We're gonna.
Oh my God.
We have to do the proper intro. All right, ready?
I don't ever do the intro. Liberty always does.
I know.
Can you please run us through it once?
Yeah. You're listening to MLVC, the Madonna podcast, your place for all things Madonna Louise, Veronica Ciccone. Hey, everybody. It's Stefan.
Hi, everyone. It's Ben, who never does the intro and was suddenly supposed to do it.
In case you didn't realize, we're live. I was going to wear my pearly white pantsuit for tonight's show, but alas, it's at the dry cleaner, so all you're getting is a girly show white T-shirt from me instead. I would love to welcome back these two handsome gentlemen who have the pleasure to look at, our resident hairstylists, Michael Angelo and Jason Lee. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome back.
Thanks for having
me. This has been a week, Stefan. So the Jason and I have been working on this since we met.
Yeah,
you.
I know. I don't think we've ever actually had both of you at the same time.
It's a lifelong dream for us girls.
I feel like we have because on Instagram, all four of us have a little MLVC Kiki chat, and I feel like we chat. I mean, it's like every day.
Literally.
Yeah, sometimes a little too much.
Y'all text way too late for me. I have to put it on mute.
Gee, I don't have my alerts. I go in for my news, but I don't have it interrupt me during the day because it makes me too cuckoo. So, like, I get up, I check my messages, I go with this, I do that, I check my messages.
I'm on it all the time, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have a real empire.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Jason and I actually have a side Kiki. So when the MLVC Kiki isn't going on, him and I have our own side chat. So it's literally like just a stream of consciousness. I spend way too much time chatting on Instagram. It can't be healthy for me.
I have books to write. I can't do that.
This conversation,
it's like I'm doing smart things.
This conversation might go sideways because Michael and I might veer into the world of hairdressing a lot as this goes on.
So there
business they call it a takeover.
Yeah. I do actually want to dive into the world of hair and Madonna, but there have been plenties. Yeah, plenties is suddenly a word. There's been plenty of goings on in the Madonna-verse, as we know, and she'll take us there because I'm not going to sing either, Ben. That's right. Don't just stand there. Let's get to it. It's time for a little This Week in Ciccone.
See, I get what I want.
If you're a Madonna fan, you obviously already know Madonna was at Ladyland for New York City Pride. It's been all anyone in the Madonna-verse has been talking about the last couple of days, and for good reason, because Madonna was slaying on stage underneath the Brooklyn Bridge on Saturday night. And Michael Angelo, you lucky SOB. You got to be there. So tell us everything first. Like, what was it like? How was it? How late was she on?
She was prompt. She was probably scared of getting sued by Ladyland. She was so on point. We sort of heard a rumor that she might be going on around midnight. So I got there a little bit later, and I think she maybe went on at like 5:10 after 12. But honestly, before that, I don't get out of Manhattan much. I'm old. And I went out to that part of Brooklyn, and it felt so cool. Like the bridge, it was like kind of a industrial wasteland of a neighborhood with all these cool kids lined up outside. And I thought, oh shit. I was so grateful that we had gotten on a different entrance to go through for us and didn't have to make that. I don't think I could have done it. And so I felt so spoiled and grateful. But the kids looked fabulous. I mean, really, truly, I felt like, oh, thank God somebody's like taking notes and getting ready in ways that are interesting and kind of creative and provocative. I feel like they've all been to Madonna school a little bit now. And then when we got inside, we caught Tokisha, and I cannot express how fabulous she was. If there's any question about whether or not Tokisha's fire, like, please, somebody go watch her video somewhere. Her dancers were spectacular. She was gorgeous. She was really, really fire. So that was so exciting. And then, that Arca number was kind of like very dreamy, trippy. It reminded me actually a lot of what Lola's been doing when she performs Lola Hall. It had a very similar vibe. I could totally see where she might, worship a little at that altar, which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I felt Lola's hand all over that whole night. I don't know if that's real or just, me projecting, but it felt like, downtown cool kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was laughing so hard because Esther DJ'd a little bit before her mother came on. And I was like, oh my God, are we literally listening to like an 11-year-old DJing? I was like, whose mitzvah is this? Like, what's happening? And I was like there for it. She was great. That kid is so hot.
What type of music does she play? Like, I'm curious.
Dancey housey. It felt like very kind of, fans clack, clack, clack. A lot of that kind of vibe. It was great. It was smoking hot, and it said Queen Esther all over the screen in back of her. So that was like, I don't know. It was like her little coming out, maybe.
That's fun.
She's extra special. We were backstage. Stephanie, were you with us backstage at the roller skating? Like when we were running out the back door and Esther kind of like put the paparazzi in their place?
Yes.
Yeah, she's feisty. Yeah,
I had to remember that was like 2 summers ago. That's right. I forgot. We were like sweating our asses off trying to catch a cab. Remember, Michael? We couldn't catch a cab, so we just ended up walking.
I know. We wish we could have roller skated.
Seriously.
So then, after Esther did her set, forgive me, the name of the prodigy, the first name, is it Kevin?
Yes.
Oh my God, like that was such like a heartfelt, inspired, exciting intro. Like I felt like she needs to really let that settle in. And I felt like it could be captured and used in so many cool ways in the future. It was just so, inspired. And I actually caught a glimpse of her getting her hair and makeup touch-ups and then watching Esther's DJ set. And at first, I swear to God, the first thing I saw, oh my fucking God, it's Dolly Parton. She was from the back. And I just saw the yellow bubble and then the white. And tiny. And then I caught the profile and I saw the guy who was touching up her maybe hair and makeup and some light. It was very hard to see her. But, obviously I was like, nothing else in the room going on.
Laser focused.
Oh, totally. But that was like a really cool moment to get to see. It felt like weirdly as exciting as a performance in some sense, if not more so. Mm-hmm. Very intimate. Mm-hmm. And it was really cute to see her when she was clapping for Esther. you could really see it was like a mom clapping for her daughter kicking ass.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. It wasn't an act. It was her human.
Yeah.
I think, again, there was no performance, right? It was like a fabulous drag ball, and she judged, and she had some sassy words here and there. I got some great photos and a little bit of video. Thanks for helping me share that with our friends at MLVC Podcast. Yay.
You got it.
And then again, when she went off, Kevin Prodigy, that outro, that exit, which is, it's in that video at MLVC Podcast. You can watch it and listen. It was so hard to pick how much of it, where to put what, because, the reels, they have to be so little. But gosh, I was like that. Thank you for saying all of that. And it was cute. She really looked a little bit humbled in a way that it's funny when A-listers shower her with accolades. She just kind of swaggers through it. Mm-hmm. But did she actually looked a little bit humbled? It was very, very cute, because I honestly think she has more respect for Kevin Prodigy than most of the A-listers she interacts with. I mean, again, this is me. I mean, this is the whole...
It's all conjecture, right? Exactly.
Thank you.
Sure.
But that's what I think. That's what I think. We missed Julia Fox, but we did catch her in the crowd, sort of in our section watching. So that was hot to see. She looked fierce. Mm-hmm. Madonna's outfit was a crack up. I was like, is she Madonna? I mean, is she Dolly Parton? Is she Elvis? And then there's this image of Mae West. I know I slipped into the Kiki, that I just was like, does she intentionally give Mae West for us sometimes? I think she does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love her.
I was gonna say, let's pause for a second and let's talk about the look, because I thought the look was pretty fire.
Fierce, beautiful. Yeah. She is looking so peak.
Jason, can I ask a question before we go too deep? Because since we have hair and makeup people here, what is that thing in the back actually called?
I call it a bump it. I know that's not right. But it's a little 60s. It's a little bump. It's a little bubble. It's not quite a beehive.
It's literally just a bit of a Brigitte Bardot kind of bump. It's literally, they just tease this crown area, pull it back. But realistically, her hair is exactly how her hair always is. The silhouette's different because of that. And look at how much it's changed her look, right? Like it really, I mean, she's done it before. I mean, Stefan, you posted the Ghost Town. She had a little bit of that bump in the Ghost Town video. She did it once during the pandemic. Remember when she was standing in front of like this silver RV, or not like a I don't know. She did this thing when
yeah. I love
that was epic. I love those.
That trailer,
so
the trailer trash photo shoot that she had.
That was clearly like a paid endorsement post.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Well, and
okay, so it's a bump it because it it was giving me like Rebel Heart closet leftover. Oh, let me get this out. Yeah, it's fun.
It's kind of classy, but bad girl at the same time. I love that for her. Right? Because, it was bad girls that ratted their hair. But, she keeps it clean, sophisticated for the night. I thought it was very Elvis, the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And her grills from the audience, they were very diamond. I don't think there was any yellow gold in that thing. I noticed when she does diamonds in white gold, her teeth look really bright and sparkly, magic. Where sometimes when it's just the gold, it looks like yellow teeth. It's not my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that she sort of was mixing motifs with that, where it was like sexy glam, but then she sort of like, when she smiled, you saw the grills, and then, but yeah, Jason, what did you think of the hair?
So I was actually just about to say, what I really love is that she seems to be playing around a lot with different talent. Andy's been around for a long time. He's an incredible hairdresser. And this is a different hairstylist named Andrew. They all work within the same crowd, and I think he's worked on people like Khloe Kardashian and Jennifer Lopez. But there's this crew that they play around with, and I really love when she plays around with her look. And this is just a different interpretation of her, and I think it's super cool. What I really loved about yesterday was that she's kind of back in this place, which is her milieu, which is kind of this underground New York scene. but Vogue World covered it, and they were talking a lot about the designers that were there, the models that were there. So she kind of lives in this. She does it really well, where she lives in this space between underground and fashion, and that's what I love about this. Because those Guy Ritchie years were a little scary for me when she wasn't really kind of in this space. So I love that she's playing with her looks. I love this look. I think it's super cool. It's kind of got this 60s, to your point, Michael, Elvis kind of dolly thing going on. I think it's chic. I think it looks really good. What I loved about it also, because it was Pride. I mean, oftentimes Pride can be just like everybody's just having a great time and not really. But this was really fashion forward. Everybody was dressed up, and I thought that was really cool. So I
Do we
love.
know who did it?
Did the outfit?
Uh-huh.
No.
No, same. I wonder if it was one of the designers she works with. They make her special thing, which frankly to me feels a little more real fashion, real couture, rather than having something off the rack on loan. I think that's great.
I haven't had a chance to read the interview article about it that just got posted like a couple hours ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like scrolling to see if the designer is mentioned in there. I love that it was capri pants, which you didn't find out till she posted the photo with her sneakers on, because you couldn't tell that in the initial photos because of the knee-high boots.
Oh my God, that sneaker was a scandal.
I loved it.
My grandmother would have never shown that, never. Heels only.
Well, I was actually very impressed that she was wearing that high heel again, because we didn't see her wearing heels like that during Celebration, and thank God, because I didn't want her. I was like, give me a ballet flat, like something, little kitten heel, but nothing too high up, because I was with her hip and her knee, and just like stay on the ground, Madonna, But I was happy to see her, because all she had to do was sit in that chair and walk a little bit. But it was interesting to see her back in those high heels. And I will say this: I loved her silhouette. I'm just gonna leave it.
Yes.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. But
yeah,
I am so happy.
She's in fighting shape.
I'm so happy for Madonna's silhouette. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm glad that silhouette is the silhouette that is there now.
Donna's in great shape right now. She looks amazing.
Yes, thanks to her trainer.
Well, and the tour as well. That girl was working her ass off, right? I think people get snotty and they're like, she's not dancing like when she was 20, and I'm like, girl, you ain't either. But she's incredibly fit. She's still so strong. And I think she really looks it. She looks really like top of her game. I feel like, she's ready for come out swinging.
Mm-hmm.
I did some photos with somebody that's kind of Madonna adjacent the other day. I can maybe tell you guys. It's okay. I've worked with Nikki Richards in the past. You know that.
Sure.
And we've helped each other out in different ways along the way. And one of the ways I like to help her out is with photos to promote her work as an independent artist. And so I can't say a whole lot about what she's got going on, because she'll kill me. But I can say that we did some photos, and there was a bump it before Mother brought the bump it. So
nice. Well, and so tell our listeners Nikki Richards, in case they aren't aware.
Oh yes, NikkiRichards.com. You can always keep an eye out for her. She's also on Instagram at Nikki Richards, NICKI Richards. And Nikki, she's toured with Madonna for like 15 years. She's also sung for, oh my goodness, Mariah Carey, Tina Turner. Really some of the best in the history of the world. So you should check out what she does when she's on her own.
Yeah, she's I love her. I mean, her backup work that she's done for Madonna in the past has been amazing.
Oh my God, totally. That girl is a masterful artist, and I cannot wait to share my bump it photos. The time is right.
So now let me just pivot to so we had theorized that maybe those photo shoots that Madonna had been posting with the smoky eye and the very bedtime story-esque, where she was playing secret in the background, we had sort of tossed, well, what are those? What are those going to be? Maybe she's just doing a hair and makeup test for Pride. as we have seen, that is clearly not the case because her look is nothing like those
Yeah.
photo shoots. So, two things. One, what do we think those photo shoots are going to be? Because you're new guests since we've had that conversation. What do we think that might be, or what would you like that to be? And two, what do you think of the looks in those, as hair and makeup aficionados? What do you think of the looks in those photo shoots, Jason?
I love them. They're classic quintessential Madonna, the glam waves. That's so much better than when I was on the tour. You know, this look that she's doing, that look that she did in those photos looked really, really good. I also think that, I don't know if Stefan, you guys have talked about this, but the roots are done. That's exciting. That was done a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, I don't know.
We've been monitoring those roots.
I know. Quite honestly, we've been like counting daily how long these roots are going to go for. I don't know what they're for, and I don't know. I'm certainly not the fan that theorizes on things because I've always been wrong. So I have no clue. But I'm excited.
Would you like if a genie popped out of a lamp and said, "I'll grant you a wish"? What would you wish that they were for?
I mean, I'm not even going to say new album, but would be great.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's okay. Michael, what about you? What did you think of those looks?
Oh, I love, there's such a kickback to the eroticas, right? I love seeing the gold tooth back out. You know, I love that thing. That kind of sultry, smutty Madonna. You know, that's one of my favorite Madonnas. I thought it's always nice to see her wave a rainbow flag our way. I love her in a smoky eye and a red lip. I thought it was very interesting. Some of those photos, it looked like that cheekbone was painted on. And I couldn't gauge if that was light or some makeup artist really did just, she can be quite literal. And I love it. I love it. It kind of reminded me in a way, especially like that first set that came out, the one where she's kind of like head back laughing. She's used it like twice now. I like those an awful lot.
Michael, did you not love that the makeup was cooler toned also? Like it was just
Yeah.
It was like YSL. Like it was just a different vibe than she usually does. Like she always same kind of look. Those pictures, her makeup was so different and it just changed the whole aesthetic.
I think that looks so much more fashion to me. Sometimes when she tries to go pretty, it reads Kardashian to me, and that's not my favorite aesthetic.
Explain to the neophytes who don't who don't know, what exactly are you referring to in terms of the difference between when she's going like it's more clean or white?
Oh gosh. Sometimes with her hair and makeup, she takes it into weird places that feel more like an Italian Vogue editorial to me, like sort of those kind of wetter, harder waves, those tight braids that I know people had very mixed opinions of. But I like it because it's really challenging and sticks a little, pokes a stick at it. And sometimes when I see her do like, some of her more like just glam night, big, beautiful, like especially birthday trips to Italy, I noticed she kind of leans into that like kind of Hollywood housewife makeup artistry that, I don't know, sometimes it just doesn't feel as cool to me as I like to think she is, but she can housewife out. I don't care. She can do it all.
I think the cool thing is what we were saying is like she's experimenting with her looks right now, which I think is super cool.
Yeah.
The range is getting broader than what she's been so maybe comfortable with over the last few years. So leave it to Michael and myself to notice these little details, but she's pushing the boundaries, and it's kind of new talent around her. Perhaps she's evolving, like whatever it is. And I personally really like that she's been kind of, for so many years, she did that wave that was to the shoulder that kind of boxed her into this kind of 50 plus, which cool, but like it just did this thing to her. And then now she's bringing back kind of like this younger aesthetic, which I personally like. And now she's pushing it into more of the editorial, which is what Michael's saying. So I don't know. It's just interesting little details that I think people like Michael and I who love hair and makeup are really noticing that she's doing, which is always part of her evolution. So,
well, that's good context.
Sorry.
Well, I was going to say that's good context to provide because, Stefan asked the question, what do you think those photos are for? And when we were talking about it the other day, the whole, oh, it's for this. And I was like, well, I just think Instagram is where everybody does their photo shoots now, right? But the point that you're making, Jason, sort of leans into what we also talked about in the last live episode, was that she used to do makeup and hair for the printed page, right? And those photos felt like makeup and hair for print, or something larger than a little box on your screen. And that's part of why they felt so different. I noticed the thing on the cheek too. I was like, oh, that's some RuPaul Drag Race action going on there. Like, who thought of that? And, so part of that experimentation is, how does that represent the image across mediums? Because we were struck by how different it is on this. So, yeah, I still stick by my thing. It's just probably internet photos, because that's what everybody famous does now. It's like, okay, it's just to have buzz and be out there and be present. But it would be exciting if that translated into a larger medium where it could be even more interesting. So fingers crossed.
I think she's been playing a lot with, I don't think I know, I see it. She's referencing herself a lot. I almost think that at Ladyland, she was sort of walking into that crowd like the girl in the music video walked into that club where she was, right? It was very much channeling that. And I think that these were just kind of giving us some references back to the Dee Dee years. And I think she's just keeping us, bam, 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 these are all me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I thought people on Twitter were like, oh, it's Dolly. Oh, it's Elvis. I was like, it's the music video.
Uh-huh.
Like, to me, that was the obvious reference, right? Although you don't really remember the outfit under the coat because she was trying to hide her pregnancy, but still, it was that sort of Vegas-y, Elvis-y cowboy retro future era.
Well, yes, and that's what's going on, right, in culture. Like, I mean, I love Beyonce and I love her new album so much, but I think that when you look at what Madonna did in music, it's logical that 20 years later, Beyonce would kind of explore that same arena. As Sebastian loves to look 20 years back, you could almost just calendar what we're going to be doing in 20 years is this again. Boot cut, low waist, right? So yeah, it's fun. It's been like shopping through her music era Madonna catalog.
I loved the sleeves. I thought the sleeves were fantastic.
Remember when she gave us Country, or in that music era, and everyone was like, what the F? And it really took time for people to get it, where this go around, where Country's having a comeback, I think once again, she wrote a script that other people were able to follow. But that was a really complicated look for her to deliver back then. People didn't get it right away.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that I chime in though as well is, because you're talking about potential new projects, and if she is working on so if you think about the tour was a retrospect of her career, potentially moving into, let's hope, this movie, maybe she is kind of in a headspace and she is still continually pulling from her archives, right? And so you're seeing photo shoots, and Ben, to your point, this literally could have just been a photo shoot, and she was just like, she had the makeup, she had the hair team around, and she just wanted something that was slightly inspired from the 90s, which you saw. So it'd be interesting to see if she does do this movie, how much her artistic kind of pull is from herself, right? And does that continue? Does that evolve into a new version of herself after the movie, or is she just constantly referencing herself now?
Well, somebody in the chat said they are hoping that the photo shoot is for the remaster and re-release of the Secret maxi single later this summer for its 30th anniversary. I hope it's for the Bedtime Stories anniversary with all the Chet Pettibone songs that we didn't get, which would explain combining sort of the Dita and the Bedtime Story Jean Harlow look. Because, there's the only Pettibone song we got to hear from the initial sessions was the one that Gary Barlow recorded, like a year later, Love Won't Wait. We didn't get to hear any of the other, and they recorded 6 songs, and we've never heard any of the other 5. Where are they? Release them. We need them.
Well, that would be
I'm just saying.
That would be a gift from heaven if we were to go. So, because I know a lot of people keep talking about where are the album reissues that Warner Brothers talked about? Where are they? And if you look on the internet, this is no exclusive information from MLVC, but if you look on the internet, there are people running their mouths saying that they are coming and that some are apparently done. So it would make sense if like one of the first ones to come our way would be Bedtime Stories, since Bedtime Stories turns 30 amazingly this October.
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah. But I would love to see an album reissue of Bedtime Story with some, I mean, if they do the reissues and there aren't songs we haven't heard, like demos that are sort of finished enough that they could re-release, if we don't get that, I'll be like, well, why are we getting these reissues then? Like, I want something for those of us that were around when those albums came out. Give us something new and special to want to buy the reissue. You know what I mean?
I just want the demos.
But she's not going to do the Taylor's versioning. She's not going to do like the Ciccone edit of the albums. Like that. We're not. She's.
Oh, but that's what I want, Ben. That's what I want.
But, okay, sweetie, when does she ever give you exactly what you want?
Yeah, seriously. Send her a memo.
Yeah, fax it over.
Oh, dear.
The suggestion box.
Oh, but I'm telling you what, like getting those other Pettibone tracks would just be like, anyway.
Chef's kiss for sure.
Just too much.
Wait, can we go back to eyeliner stuff? And what's your shirt?
This is the girly show
that eyeliner
with some smoky eye Madonna from that wonderful photo shoot. She's got the little braids and the hat.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my eye inspo yesterday for Pride.
You looked good. Was it waterproof? Was it waterproof?
Oh, we got drenched, but I was like, you know what? It's supposed to be smudgy. Like I've been crying in a Paris apartment anyway. So yeah. I was like, just lean in, honey.
Did you have?
You were waiting and wanting.
Did you have a good time at Pride yesterday, Michael? Was it celebratory?
Yeah, it's weird. I felt funny standing in the sidelines applauding like TD Bank. You know, that's a little bit of a tough nut to swallow, but we went to the drag march and that's always fun and festive and downtown and weird. And I sort of saw the aftermath of Joe and Jill Biden's visit. So, you know, think what you will of, you know, government as a whole, but it felt nice to see, you know, the Stonewall inaugurated and that the president of the United States showed up for us. Yeah. And I really was moved by the decor on the White House. That was pretty stunning to see. Never in my life did I think I'd see, you know, that kind of a show of support. Yeah. No wonder MAGA's in a snit. But anyway, not to go there.
Well, I mean, yeah, we don't like to get political on here, but for all of you listeners out there, please make sure that you help ensure that the survival of our democracy this fall. We'd all like to continue to be able to do this show out and proud. So,
I mean, we can even tie that to Madonna when you think about the arc of her career. I mean, we're talking about Bedtime Stories being 30 years old. Think about what the country and life was like 30 years ago for those of us who were Madonna fans and in our 20s and late teens at the time. And like, I mean, to your point, Michael, like we would not have seen that when Bedtime Stories came out, and definitely not the year Erotica came out. Like, so there is something to this conversation to add to that appreciation and the fact that, you know, she was there last night at Pride supporting all these glorious queerdos in the same way that she was supporting all the glorious queerdos 30 years ago, you know.
Because she's a glorious queerdo.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Like just rewatching the Bedtime Story party and some of like the zany, like all the big drag queens of the day. I'm like, that would have been the cast of season -20 of RuPaul's Drag Race at the Madonna Bedtime Story party, right?
Right. And her roots are New York City club kid. And you can never forget that when she does things like bleaches her eyebrows and braids her thing and puts on giant facial changes. I think that it's like she's fine with looking weird. Like she's not there. And I guess that's what rubs me the wrong way when she does that Kardashian, because it looks like she's trying to fit in and I'm like, don't.
Mm-hmm. She's trying to assimilate. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But well, anyway. And I also think that's one of the I love that she continues to extend her legacy at Pride. You know, like it just seems like of late, she constantly is, every time there's Pride, she makes sure that she's there. And she doesn't have to. You know what I mean? Like, she does not have to do any support of Pride, but she does. And I think that's a really great message. And I think that'll be a standout legacy for her years from now, that, you know, that she continues to show up and just even be part of it.
Only because I'm having to say this live, I'm blanking. Please forgive me. Remind me the name of the producer of Ladyland.
It's Lady Fag, right?
Yes, thank you.
The drag
Thank you so much, Ben. Yes, it's Lady Fag. I'm so sorry. That's disgraceful that I don't have that at the tip of my tongue. You know, she's old school. I know that. We grew up together. So, but they said that you know, Em just came off the biggest show in the history of the world to play her gig under a bridge in an industrial wasteland in Brooklyn, and that is why she's always the queen. And I loved that. I thought that spoke so well to
I loved. So if you haven't already, for those listening, watching, check out the Interview magazine article where they sort of interview some of the people that were on stage with Madonna, and I love that they like just ask them, what do they think of Madonna? Like that's like, yeah, sir, we're going to talk to you a little bit about you, but what did you think about Madonna? And they all have to answer that. And I thought it was fun.
I just put the link in the chat.
Okay, good. Make sure you check it out. And also, if you're watching, you can see these are some Polaroids that were taken from the event. And I gotta say, girl looks flawless. Like I often think she even looks. Yeah, Ben's got her. I'm like, I think she looks better here than she even did on Celebration, which I don't even know how that's possible. Like, maybe it's just she got some rest.
Rest. Yeah. We all look better with rest. I could really use like 2 10-hour nights of sleep. I'm telling you what.
I feel like this is the new right.
Yeah, she's
your grills, girl.
She's very orally fixated these days.
That's not new
at all.
Lots of
How to suck a lollipop.
I mean, since burning up, like, it's not new.
So
oh,
just a quick pivot. A couple other things that we wanted to highlight this week in Ciccone. Jason pointed out before we went live that, or reminded us that Rhino was celebrating the 38th anniversary of True Blue. That's why Jason's wearing all blue today.
My hair.
Is there blue in the hair? No.
It's like, remember?
Oh, did you did a little? Like you did a little punky color. What is it? It's like a.
That's all.
But yeah, so do all of you gentlemen on this, do we all remember what we were doing in 1986 when True Blue came out?
I rode my bike to the record store to get the cassette, and when I unfolded it in that little centerfold of her, it was my favorite photo of her in the history of photos, is that Herbert's photo from the True Blue cover. If anyone wants to send me a present, that would be a great one. Signed, numbered, please. You never know.
I had to bootleg mine because I wasn't allowed to have her in the house, but my cousin had the cassette, and I had to make like a secret version of it that the first 2 songs were Reba McEntire songs, so that if my mom played it, she thought it was country music, and then it was side 1 of True Blue, and then side 2 I think it wasn't Dolly Parton, it was somebody else. And then it was the rest of it. And I think at the end it was like another country music song, just so nobody found it. Yeah. I didn't have the oh my God, the
liner notes.
The liner notes or any of that stuff. Yeah.
That opening to Papa Don't Preach, that like orchestral moment, I remember it like it was yesterday the first time I heard it. And at that time in pop music history, we'd never heard something like that before. And it's still like in my ear, like every time I hear it, like the first time.
Yeah, Papa Don't Preach is, I never realized how much I loved that song, but like I felt like we were cheated in Celebration because she brought in those wonderful strings, and then I was like, Oh, we're gonna go there, right? We're actually, and then she just didn't sing it, but I was like, I love anytime Madonna and strings, anytime. Die Another Day, Papa Don't Preach,
And the
Easy
video.
Ride, like, yeah.
The Staten Island Ferry, like I can't go on that Staten Island Ferry without reenacting, right?
I can't walk.
The number.
I can't walk.
And I'm
up
always
a
looking for that. Say it again.
I can't walk up a flight of stairs without, being
Do
pregnant.
you hold the railing and you do the little strut, Jason? Is that what you do?
It's just, I'm pregnant. I'm walking
Oh,
upstairs.
and that with the ballet slippers.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here for the nip slip. Boop, like
Yes.
in the video. I love it. That said,
I had it on
open your heart.
VHS
Oh,
and
yeah.
slow motion and paused it to see it.
Oh yeah. But for me, Open My Heart is my jam from that. Either the extended version where you get the notes and then it goes the bum 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 bum, and she does that little Michael Jackson noise. If you listen really closely, I'm just like, oh, that's.
Are you gonna go out with me or what?
Yeah.
Right?
Matt, you scared of me or something?
I love it. I love it.
Just a quiet moment to appreciate it.
She kind of turned into a boy in the most aggressive way when True Blue came out, right? Like she had done it before the album Madonna came out, but then she was really playing into girl. And then True Blue, she kind of was doing boy again. And I felt like a real sense of connection myself. Like, I think like a virgin, she was sort of liberating women in a way and like telling them their sex was okay. And I think True Blue, she told us ours was.
Interesting.
Like the jeans, the motorcycle jackets, the Jimmy Dean hair. I was like, oh, that's who I am.
It is very interesting that she took on very masculine fashion and even her posture changed and that sort of thing. All the iconography definitely leans into, but yet it's so like, it's both warm and stainless steel at the same time, right? Like those, I mean, her arms in that era, I'm like, what was your bicep routine? This is not fair. Like,
but I loved, so speaking of Papa Don't Preach, I always loved the contrast between the real life story of her in Staten Island, dealing with the teenage pregnancy and the look with the hair down and the jeans, and then the flip of that where you get the choreographed moments in the studio with her hair up and she's super glam and gorgeous, and that's the performance aspect of the video. Yeah, and I love the contrast between she literally looks like two different people. It looks like it's like there's this, the girl going through the teenage pregnancy, and then there's the
Gina.
Yeah, then there's Madonna.
Gina?
That's Gina.
Yes, Gina. That was my grandmother's favorite Madonna song with Papa Don't Preach.
Oh, yeah, that's Gina Ciccone.
And then one other thing I wanted to.
Yeah, I'm Gina Ciccone is my drag name going forward.
I like that.
Like Madonna's like illegitimate hairier sister.
Oh my God.
Like the one who couldn't afford the laser.
Right.
No, they didn't have laser back then. That would have been waxing. A little sugaring. You just need a little sugaring, Michael. That's
you would have had, what was it called? Is it electrolysis that they used to do?
Sure, but there was the epilady too. My grandmother had
one. Yeah. Oh my God.
Medieval torture.
Yeah, seriously. I know people who used that, and it was like they were screaming from.
I tried 1 second on one arm. That thing was in the garbage.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. But one thing I wanted to talk about that. So unlike Michael, I wasn't able to see Madonna on Saturday night in Brooklyn, but I did get to see someone from the Madonna-verse. If you saw the picture that I posted, I got to attend a book signing and screening of Susan Seidelman. So we had Susan on the show. She has her new memoir out, Desperately Seeking Something. If you've not picked it up, I said this on the show when we interviewed her, and I'll say it again. Pick up the book, read the book. It's fantastic. She's such a great storyteller. She was at a small theater in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. It's called the County Theater. It's apparently one of like the oldest theaters in the country, and
Yes.
they did a really great job at renovating it. Like I walked in, I'm like, this looks brand new. It's fantastic and beautiful. The seats are actually sized and roomy and comfortable. But Susan was there. They were selling her book, and she was signing it, and they showed a screening of her very first movie, Smithereens, which is, if you've not seen Smithereens, Smithereens is sort of like the indie the indie humble beginnings of Desperately Seeking Susan. There's very many things that are some similarities from Smithereens to Desperately Seeking Susan. For those of us who say Madonna invented the selfie, I hate to burst your bubble, but in Smithereens, one of the characters does take a selfie with Polaroids.
Oh,
So,
don't rat her out.
yeah, sorry, Madonna. That was the, but
She invented it. Kids, ignore him.
we'll give it to Madonna, you know. But yeah, Susan was great. She was, it was wonderful to actually meet her in person, and we got a little picture, and she signed my book. So it was wonderful. That's what I love
Did you
about the
die?
show. It
You
was
died?
just, well, I mean, she's like she's like such a she's like a hometown friend of mine now, because we both grew up in the same hometown. I mean, we were separated by a couple of years, but she loves that I'm from her hometown, Huntington Valley, and so there's a kinship that we've got, and I think they're trying to do another screening of hers in another theater somewhere in the burbs. So if it's Desperately Seeking Susan, I'm totally there.
Her touch on pop culture, I mean, it's so major. She directed, didn't she do some video work with Madonna as well? Am I making that up?
No, she never did any music videos, just Desperately Seeking Susan. But I mean, some of her, I mean, She Devil, you know, she got Meryl Streep to do the very first comedy film that Meryl Streep had ever done. And, you know, like, she did the first 4 episodes of Sex and the City. And, you know, like, she's responsible for some really iconic moments in film.
That's an interesting contrast, Sex and the City, Carrie Bradshaw versus Madonna, Susan, downtown 80s. I could totally see some.
Well, but those were the episodes when Carrie still looked at the camera and broke fourth wall.
Yes.
And then after Susan moved on, they stopped doing that, right? Wasn't that something that Susan...
after the first season.
Or did they do it the whole first season?
Yeah, it was mostly for the first, but it did phase out after that.
I kind of liked it. They should have kept it anyway, whatever. Now everybody does it. Abbott Elementary, Community, all those TV shows.
Yeah, it was... But yeah, no, but I loved the like from Sex and the City and Desperately Seeking Susan. I love that Susan Seidelman, she always makes New York a character. You know what I mean? So I don't know, maybe had she not been involved, maybe New York wouldn't have been the character that it became in Sex and the City. But I loved how she always used New York in Desperately Seeking Susan. And I wore my little Desperately Seeking Susan T-shirt and my pyramid jacket. And I'm telling you, that pyramid jacket's a hit. Yeah, people were like, "Oh God, can I get a picture of your jacket?" I'm always wearing the Desperately Seeking Susan jacket. I was like, "It's a knockoff," you know, like. But
worth every penny.
Do you remember the Desperately Seeking Susan boots?
Yes, I don't have.
Do you remember the retail one?
Yeah. I can't believe that they used to sell that type of stuff. They sold the jacket and the boots.
They did sell the jacket? How is that not on eBay somewhere? I'm sure it is.
It's got to be. Somebody's probably for way.
Okay, if the True Blue photo isn't in someone who wants to give me a gifts budget, the pyramid jacket or the booties would be a close second.
I think Susan Seidelman has one of the Desperately Seeking Susan jackets. Like she has to.
If she's listening, Michael wants it.
Please gift it to Michael for Christmas.
How about just will it to me? She can have it until she doesn't need it.
Killed her off already.
Michael, was there any, speaking of merch, was there any Madonna merch at Ladyland or no?
No Madonna merch. Ladyland had a really cool merch setup. They had their own stuff, Ladyland branded, very well designed. And then there were some really cool indie, like sort of alternative fashion tables set up. There were some cool food trucks and things down there. I think everyone was so there for the music. I think some of the shopping got overlooked, but I made a second to browse them all because, I'm a kid from Jersey.
Well, thank you for
gosh.
wearing your captain's hat. Even though Madonna did not wear her captain's hat, she does have an affinity for her captain's hat, and
an eye patch.
Yeah, she loves. She likes those little accoutrements.
An accessory, right?
Mm-hmm.
She invented accessorizing. Take that, Chapel.
Hey, I was just going to say, when do you think she's going to acknowledge Chapel Rowan? That's my question. At what point is the duet coming?
Go for it. Jason's standing so hard.
Surely the kids have heard of her and have talked about her in the house. I still want her on a remix of the Lord Charlie XCX duet. Like literally they use lyrics from What It Feels Like for a Girl. I'm like, how is this not? Oh my God, it drives. I love that song. Do what?
Send a memo.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah, we need a mashup. It just makes sense. Like when you said that, Ben, I was like, that totally
and a couple of people on, like, I refuse to call it its new name, Twitter, have posted like their versions of mashups, but they slowed the song down to the tempo of What It Feels Like for a Girl and barely used any Madonna vocals. I'm like, no. Use the fast version, keep the tempo up, and just put her in behind the chorus. Like, that's all we need.
Yeah.
There you go, memo sent. Get on it, kids.
Put it out there.
Ben is giving you a gift. Appreciate it.
Ben's manifest. So Ben,
I am trying to manifest this one.
This episode is all about pride wishes. So Michael wants the Desperately Seeking Susan Booties. Ben wants the Lord What It Feels Like for a Girl mashup. Jason, what is your pride wish for this year?
I want a Chapel Rowan Madonna duet.
Collaboration. Okay. There we go. What's my I have so many Madonna pride wishes.
You want a new album.
I
Just
do.
Don't even play.
I do. Yeah, I think I do. Thank you, Ben. I'm glad you said it because I never ask for a new Madonna album.
Right.
You never talk.
I never mentioned that anywhere.
You should make that like your bio.
I want a new Madonna album. Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I know that you've got busy empires to run. There's hair to wash, and there's makeup to do, and then there's me and Ben.
Wash. We're gonna go wash.
I have to go back to writing. I stopped to do this, and I got rewrites to do.
Well,
I got
thanks for taking
Ben, I love seeing your poetry published. It's been so nice.
Thank you. The new book is coming out in November. Oh my God! Wait till you see the cover. Oh my God!
Is it you?
Oh no! It's a custom piece of queer art that people are just everybody that has seen it in draft, like as we mock up the cover, is just like, I'm like, oh yes. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful, and it's so queer, and it's so like now, but also anyway.
Oh, fun.
If you guys don't already
more later. Do what?
Follow Ben and read his poems.
Stefan, have you ever talked about how all of us are like little smidges of Madonna? Like we have taken on a part of her. What I'm getting at is Ben's poetry, that's his artwork. I do what I do, and Michael does what he does. It's just like we're all so inspired by her in some.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah.
But I just feel like
he's the best art teacher I ever had.
Totally. But when you talk to other Madonna fans, they're all just like some kind of little piece of her.
I would hope that, that her art inspires us to do other art. That's what turned me on to wanting to produce music. I always loved her music, but I never thought, I'll do my own. And then Liberty came into my life, and I was like, now I have somebody who can sing for me.
Yeah, it's in the mission statement. It's in her mission statement.
Yeah,
for sure.
It goes without saying. I miss the days when she would talk to us more about what she was reading and that kind of, because she still is reading, and But no, you know, we don't have long form interviews where anybody asks her that kind of stuff anymore. So it's like,
Well,
but I'm
if
like, Madonna,
if she would come on
what?
this show, I'd
I
ask her those
know.
things.
I'm like,
I keep waiting. It's we're only in our 6th year now, Madonna. You know, I literally told her about the podcast to her face during Madam X. Like, how much more of an invitation does the woman need to come on the show? I mean,
she's not listening.
what did I? She's never
Well,
going to
you
give
and
you
Andy
exactly what you
Cohen.
want.
I know.
Yeah. Well, he's a
What did she call him?
Troublemaking queen.
Troublemaking queen.
You know, I sat right next to him when she said that. When she threw the drink, I got wet off of it. I mean, not like, you know.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
It was really fun to see her stand up to a bully.
I love the Housewives.
All right. Well, everybody, that's our show.
Happy Pride!
Don't forget, this month, our Madonna Summer Movie Series, we are going to finally tackle Evita. So keep your eyes peeled for that upcoming episode. And remember, everybody, you can find us on Instagram, X, and Threads at MLVC Podcast if you'd like to donate to the show. We're on Venmo at MLVC Podcast, or you can click that like button and on YouTube and give us a super thanks and donate that way. Or if you've not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, tick that subscribe button so you never miss a video. Follow these wonderful gentlemen that are sharing the screen with me, Michael Angelo, Jason Lee, and of course, Ben Klein. They all have wonderful personal Instagrams and that convey beauty and love and queerdom and
abs, is that what you just said?
yes.
That's Jason.
Yes. Follow Jason on his physical transformation to a weightlifting competition this fall where you'll see nothing but pecs and abs while the rest of us eat ice cream and support him from afar.
Well, thank God we're smart and pretty.
Yeah. Until next time, everybody. Thanks for joining us, guys. Stay where you are. We're going to kiki real quick, but we have to end the live for, fingertips.
Girls in.
Divas to the dance floor.